Good day, everyone, and welcome back into the world of science. I'm Sir Joven Batoriano, and maraming salamat po sa mga nagsasubscribe sa ating YouTube channel. And we're now going to have our exam reviewer, or exam review sa Science 9 Term 1. Ito po yung part 2 o karugtong nung part 1. Sana napanood nyo yung part 1, no? So, this is again another set of 25 questions na papasok dito sa content standards na ibinigay ng DepEd. Medyo mahaba itong content standards natin, but to summarize, we can see na physics yung first part ng first term and a little bit of earth science. Sige, start na po tayo sa ating first question. Nag-start tayo sa 26 kasi part 2 ito nung previous video. Okay? Number 26. What electrical part does a zigzag line represent in a circuit diagram? A. Light bulb. B. Switch. C. Resistor. Or D. Voltage source. Kung naalala nyo yung ating simple circuit, diba, yung series and parallel circuits, they are using icons or diagrams, mga symbols. So, the correct answer is letter C, resistor. Yung resistor ay gumagamit ng zigzag line and these resistors controls and resist the flow of current. Ito yung itsura niya, everybody. Ayan. Sa actual, mukha siyang maliit na piece or part ng ating circuit na may mga colors. Ayan. So, a resistor is a passive two-terminal electronic component that limits or regulates the flow of electric current in a circuit. Okay? Next question, 27. Why does a flashlight become dim when its batteries are nearly drained? Bakit daw yung flashlight ay naglalamlam yung kulay niya? Medyo nawawala na yung brightness. Pag malapit na raw maubos yung battery. Letter A, the bulb changes into better conductor. Letter B, the batteries supply less voltage, causing less current to flow. C, all the electrons in the wires disappear. D, the circuit resistance automatically rises on its own. Okay, the correct answer is letter B. The batteries supply less voltage, causing less current to flow. Weakened batteries produce lower voltage, which reduces the current flowing through the bulb, making it glow dimmer. Resistance does not change automatically, and electrons do not vanish. Next question is 28. Two identical light bulbs are wired in a series circuit. What happens if one bulb burns out? Or paano kung yung isa daw bumbilya ay namatay o nasira? Letter A, the remaining bulb shines brighter. Letter B, the battery stops working forever. C, the other bulb stays lit as normal. Or letter D, both bulbs go out because the electric path is broken. Series, di ba? Parang ano lang siya, one line lang na circuit or wire. The correct answer is letter D. Both bulbs go out because the electric path is broken. A series circuit has only one continuous path, isa lang. If any part breaks, the entire circuit stops working. So, ano ba pinagkaiba ng series at parallel circuit? Let's talk about parallel circuits. In a parallel circuit, the same terminals of both devices are connected together. So, kapag parallel circuit at tinanggal natin yung isang bumbilya, gagana pa rin yung isa. Unlike series circuit na sinabi natin kanina, it is made by connecting the end of one device to the beginning of another. Ulitin ko, kapag nagka-problema yung isang bulb ng series circuit, maapektuhan din ito yung isang bumbilya. Hindi na rin siya gagana. Okay. Question 29. Why is it wise to unplug televisions and computers during a thunderstorm? Letter A, It makes the internet connection faster. B. It protects appliances from voltage surges caused by lightning. C. It keeps the appliances dust-free. Or D. It conserves battery charge. Okay, the correct answer is letter B. It protects appliances from voltage surges caused by lightning. Lightning o yung kidlat, 'di ba, tuwing nagkakaroon ng masamang panahon, it can send dangerous voltage spikes through power lines. Unplugging devices removes them from the circuit and shields them from damage. Kasi connected sila doon sa power source. So kapag nagkaroon ng surge at pumasok yung current o yung flow ng electricity sa ating mga gamit sa bahay, pwedeng masira ito. Kasi may mga ano yun kumbaga limit yung mga appliances natin. Okay? Number 30. Two identical batteries are used in separate circuits. Circuit A has lower resistance than circuit B. Which statement is correct? A. Circuit B carries more current. B. Both circuits carry the same current. C. Circuit A carries more current. Or D. Current cannot be compared without more data. May dalawang setups tayo with two identical batteries. Ayan. So, the correct answer is letter C. Circuit A carries more current. Why? From the formula of I equals V divided by R, if the voltage stays constant, lower resistance means greater current. Diba? Kung masyadong pumipigil doon sa flow ng electricity, mas mataas yung current. Kung mas mataas ang resistance, mas mababa yung current. Let's have question 31. Which practice is the safest way to learn about electrical circuits? A. Examining live wires inside home walls. B. Using computer or virtual circuit simulations. C. Touching electrical outlets with damp hands. Letter D. Sticking metal objects into socket holes. Okay. Everybody, the answer is letter B, using computer or virtual circuit simulations. Kung mapansin nyo, yung ibang choices, delikado siya. Wag nyo pong gagawin yan. Okay? Pwedeng magkaroon ng damage, no? Kung sino man yung taong yun, or magkakaroon ng aksidente. Simulations allow safe learning without physical risk. Kagaya ng PhET simulations na alam natin. Kung makikita nyo, may mga examples doon. You can build your own circuits. All other choices can cause severe electric shock. Kaya ulitin ko, delikado po yan, no? So, we need to think of our safety first. Question 32. Which formula correctly calculates the total current in a parallel circuit? A. Total resistance equals R1 plus R2 plus R3. Letter B. I equals R divided by B. Letter C. Total voltage equals V1 plus V2 plus V3. And letter D. Total current equals I1 plus I2 plus I3. Okay, ang hinahanap natin ito ay current. Okay? Dalawa lang naman ang choices na may letter I, di ba? B or D lang. Okay, the correct answer is letter D. Di ba? Kasi nga, yung I sub T, yung T na maliit, ibig sabihin, total. Yung I is current. Ito total current. Tama? Yung letter B kasi, I equals R divided sa V. Ang total current, hindi current lang. Okay? Kaya yun yung tama sagot. So, we simply add all the possible current values para makuha ang total current sa isang parallel circuit. Question 33. Which type of electromagnetic radiation has the highest frequency? we associate frequency to energy. O, di sabihin, ano ang pinakamalakas na energy sa mga ito? A. Gamma rays. B. Radio waves. C. Visible light. Or D. Microwaves. The correct answer, syempre, letter A. Gamma rays. From lowest to highest frequency and energy, mauna muna yung radio waves or radio. Sunod ay microwave, followed by infrared, visible, ultraviolet, X-ray, and gamma ray. Gamma rays rank highest in both frequency and energy. As you see here in our chart, yung ating iba't ibang electromagnetic waves, we started from radio waves, 10 raised to 3. So, si radio wave ang may pinakamahabang wavelength among all the electromagnetic waves. So, followed by microwave, paiksi na paiksi yung wavelength, infrared, visible light, ultraviolet ray, X-ray, and gamma ray. Among all these, visible light lang ang kaya makita ng mata. That's 0.5 times 10 raised to negative 6. The rest are invisible to our eyes. Ayan. Though we can detect this EMW or electromagnetic waves using technologies, no? Okay. Let's now proceed to question number 34. Which kind of wave is most often used to send radio and television signals across long distances? Sabihin yung pinakamahaba, no? Letter A, gamma rays. B, radio waves. C, X-rays. Or D, ultraviolet rays. Madali lang tong question na to. Kung mapansin nyo yung ating statement or question, nababanggit yung mga appliances gaya ng television and radio na nakakaabot sa mga malalayong lugar. The correct answer is letter B, radio waves. Radio waves have long wavelengths, travel great distances through the atmosphere, and are safe to use for broadcasting. Question number 35. An investigator wants to study the internal structure of a crystal using X-rays. Why are X-rays suitable for this task? A. Visible light moves too slowly to interact with atoms. B. X-rays have long wavelengths that perfectly match crystal sizes. C. The X-rays have very short wavelengths that are comparable to distances between atoms. Or D. X-rays give off heat that helps melt the crystal. Ang ginagawa ng investigator, pinag-aaralan niya raw yung internal structure ng isang crystal sa pamamagitan ng X-rays. Bakit X-ray? The correct answer is letter C. X-rays have very short wavelengths that are comparable to distances between atoms. X-rays have very extremely short wavelengths that are about the same size as the gaps between atoms, and this allows them to reveal crystal structure through diffraction patterns. Moving on to question 36. Why are radio waves and microwaves preferred over ultraviolet rays for sending mobile phone signals? Bakit ginagamit daw yung radio and microwaves sa mga cellphone natin compared to UV? Letter A, UV rays travel too slowly to carry information. B, radio and microwaves pass through the atmosphere well and are less harmful to living tissue. C, radio waves carry more information because they move faster. Or letter D, ultraviolet waves have the wrong speed for antennas to detect. You got it right. The correct answer is letter B. Medyo mahaba, no? Pero we have to read it carefully kung talagang tama tong style ng paggawa natin ng pagkuha natin ng tamang sagot, no? Radio waves, microwaves pass through the atmosphere well and are less harmful to living tissue. Radio waves and microwaves travel effectively through air and are non-ionizing. It means these are safe EMWs. Ultraviolet rays are harmful and most blocked by the ozone layer. All electromagnetic waves travel at the same speed in a vacuum. Question 37. If the frequency of an electromagnetic wave is doubled, what happens to its wavelength and energy? A. Both wavelength and energy double. B. Wavelength becomes half as long while energy doubles. C. Both wavelength and energy are cut in half. Or letter D. Wavelength doubles and energy stays the same. Pag dumoble daw yung frequency ng EMW, ano daw mangyayari sa wavelength and energy? The correct answer is letter B. Wavelength becomes half as long while energy doubles. Di ba kapag umiiksi ang wavelength, tumataas ang frequency and energy of the waves. Question 38. Which lists orders waves from lowest energy to highest energy? Di ba yung energy tsaka frequency, they are related to each other. Magkapareho sila. Is it A, gamma, ultraviolet, visible radio? B, radio, ultraviolet, gamma, visible? C, ultraviolet, gamma, radio, visible? Or D, radio, visible, ultraviolet, and gamma? So ano ba, may pinakamataas na energy dyan, di ba? We recall that gamma rays are the highest in terms of energy. So, we pick letter D nga pala. Inaantok na ako, ayun. Lowest pala muna, lowest energy, I'm so sorry. Radio, visible, ultraviolet, and gamma, ayun. So, letter D is the correct answer. Yung radio ang may pinakamababang energy, yet it has the longest wavelength. Ayan. Baliktad ako. Galing nyo, ha? Number 39. Which pairing of wave type and common use is correct? A. Gamma rays is used for ordinary eyesight. B. Infrared waves are used in television remote controls. C. Radio waves are used to take X-ray pictures of bones. Letter D. X-rays used for FM radio broadcasting. Alin daw dyan yung pair na tama? The correct answer is letter B. Infrared waves are used in television remote controls. Ayan. Kung makikita niyo yung letter A, mali yan. Kasi ang ordinary eyesight is visible light. Diba? Yung letter C, X-ray obviously. And letter D is not X-rays. Ano siya, dapat radio waves. Okay po. Question 40. Why are different kinds of electromagnetic waves used for different purposes? A. It is simply a matter of tradition and preference. B. Each type of wave behaves exactly the same way. C. The choice depends only on the cost of equipment. Letter D. Each type has unique wavelength, frequency, energy, and ways of interacting with matter. Ang haba ng letter D, pero check nyo rin kung yan talaga yung tamang sagot, no? So, the correct answer is letter D. Each type has unique wavelength, frequency, energy, and ways of interacting with matter. So, iba-iba sila ng purpose. Kung mahaba yung wavelength, edi good siya for broadcasting. Kung maikse, it could be used for medical purposes, diba? Sa X-ray, ganun. So, hindi siya pwedeng magpalit-palit, no? Magkakaiba, mahihirapan tayo. Okay? Simple as that. Question 41. A student looks for information about radiation safety. Which sources should be considered most reliable? Masama yung radiation sa katawan, di ba? Yung mga gamma rays, X-rays, yung too much exposure would cause cancer sa ating balat. Roman numeral 1, a government health agency website. Roman numeral number 2, an anonymous blog with no supporting evidence. Wala lang, nag-hype lang siya, ganun. Roman numeral number 3, a science textbook published by a reputable publisher. Ano sagot natin dito? A. Sources 2 and 3 only. B. Sources 1 and 3 only. Letter C. Only source 1. And letter D. Only source 2. Ano yung pinaka-reliable na info or sources? The correct answer is letter B. 1 and 3 lang. Kasi yung number 2 nakakatakot eh. Huwag tayo maniniwala sa mga vlogger na wala naman masyadong background, no, sa field na kanilang dinidiscuss. So kilala naman natin yung mga topics na kaya nilang talagang dinidiscuss. They are reliable with that certain field. Pero kasi ito, it's about safety. 'Di ba? Mahirap makinig doon sa mga walang masyadong alam doon sa issue. Okay? Question 42. Which observation best supports the idea that continents were once joined together? Ito, earth science na itong topic natin, no? Tapos na yung physics tungkol na sa mundo. Letter A, all continents have active volcanoes. B, similar plant and animal fossils are found across continents now separated by oceans. C, different continents have different climates today. D, ocean waters are getting deeper every year. Ano daw yung ebidensya na nagpapatunay na magkarugtong yung mga continents before? Kasi may theory, 'di ba, tungkol sa sa mga continents. The correct answer is letter it's letter A, but it's written here letter B. Okay. May typographical error lang, pero it's letter B. Similar plant and animal fossils are found across continents now separated by oceans. Ayan. Okay, may mga natagpuan na mga fossils or fossil evidence sa iba't ibang parts ng mundo na pinaniniwalaan na dito sila naninirahan about millions of years ago. Ayan, makita niyo yung pattern, yung kulay green, 'di ba? Yung Glossopteris, isa siyang uri ng halaman na tumutubo sa mga regions ng South America, Africa, halos lahat ng ng continents ito sa may southern hemisphere ay merong presence ng gantong fossil. And others. Makita nyo, may mga colors tayong susundan. Okay? Nung nagkawatak-watak raw yung mga kontinente na to, nakita yung mga fossils na to, no? Nakakapagtaka dahil hindi naman to magkakadugtong na mga lupa. Mga karagatan ang pagitan. Pero bakit meron at meron ding mga fossils na nahukay sa mga lugar na yun. So, ito yung isang evidence na nagsasabi na magkakarugtong daw ang mga continents before. Na isa lang daw yung lupa before. Okay? Question 43. Who first proposed the theory that all continents were once joined into one supercontinent? Yung 7 continents today ay isang continent lang noon. Yun ang sabi niya. A. James Hutton. B. Alfred Wegener. C. Isaac Newton. Or D. Charles Darwin. The correct answer is letter B. Alfred Wegener. Si Alfred Wegener ang nag-introduce ng continental drift theory, and he suggested that all land was once united in a single continent called Pangaea. Ayun. Ito si Alfred Wegener. Nabuhay siya noong 1800s. And isa siyang scientist, meteorologist, na nahumaling sa pag-aaral tungkol sa pinagmulan ng mundo. Diba? Paano nabuhay yung mga halaman at hayop. Hanggang sa na-realize niya na sandali lang, ba't parang fit yung mga continents together, no? Ang niya napansin dito, yung Africa, tapos yung eastern side dun ay parang fit dun sa western side ng South America. Ayan yung nakikita nyo sa bandang baba. Yung Gondwana. Okay? So yung Laurasia ay yung northern hemisphere and Gondwana land or Gondwana ang southern hemisphere. Pag pinagsama mo lahat ng lupa na yon, tatawagin itong Pangaea. Okay? Around 200 million years ago, nung magsimulang unti-unting gumalaw ang lupa. And napunta sa iba't ibang panig ng planeta ang mga lupang ito na nakikita natin sa panahon natin ngayon. Okay? Yan. So, yung tawag dun sa super ocean naman ay Pantalasa. Okay. Let's have our question 44. If all movement of tectonic plates suddenly stop, which geological event would decrease? A. The rotation of Earth. B. The rise and fall of ocean tides. C. Earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, and the formation of mountains. D. Changes in the appearance of the moon. Okay, tama. Ang tamang sagot ay letter C. Earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, and the formation of mountains. Okay, kasi yun yung cause ng lindol at yung pagbuo ng mga bulkan, hihinto ang lahat ng yon kung sakaling hihinto rin ang paggalaw ng mga plates o mga plato sa ibabaw ng ating asthenosphere. Let's have our next question. 45. After a strong earthquake, scientists observed that plates slid sideways past each other with no volcanic activity. Nagkiskisan yung dalawang plates side to side or sideways. What kind of boundary is this? A. Transform boundary. B. Divergent boundary. C. Oceanic continental convergent boundary. Or D. Continental convergent boundary. Yung side nung isang plate nag-slide din sa isa pang side ng isang plate. Nagkiskisan sila. The correct answer is letter A. It is a transform boundary. At a transform boundary, plates slide horizontally past one another. Then this causes earthquakes but does not create volcanoes. Alright? So ito yung mga plate tectonic theory natin. The first one is convergent plate movements, when two plates collide to form mountains, trenches, or volcanoes. Okay? We have the first one at the right side, continental convergence. So may dalawang continental plates na nagbanggaan to form mountains or mountain ranges. Pinaniniwalaan ng mga scientists na ganito raw ang ito daw yung dahilan kung bakit nabuo ang Mount Everest sa ating Himalayan range. Ito sa baba, we have oceanic continental convergence. Yung oceanic crust o oceanic plate ay tumama sa isang continental plate or crust. So nagkaroon ng tinatawag na subduction. Dahil mabigat ang oceanic crust, bumababa ito at nadudurog yung bahagi ng continental crust. These molten rocks will accumulate in one place at maghahanap sila ng escape pataas sa lupa and will form volcanoes. Now, on a third picture, we have oceanic convergence. Parehong oceanic plates yung nagbanggaan. Since they are both thick and dense, they will form rift valleys underwater. Okay? Let's now have the next type of plate movement called the divergent plate movement. Palayo naman sila sa isa't isa. So when two plate boundaries move away from each other, magma rise up due to the convection current. Yung init ng mundo sa ilalim sa asthenosphere ay ang prime mover ng ating mga plates. So dahil doon nagkakaroon ng splitting sa pagitan ng dalawang oceanic plates. The gap is called a rift, and it's formed between two moving plates. Magma from mantle flows out from the rift, filling the spaces between plates and resulting an elevated surface along the boundary called the mid-ocean ridge. Ayan. Makakita tayo ng mid-ocean ridge sa iba't ibang panig ng mundo. Pero yung pinakasikat na mid-ocean ridge ay yung nandun sa Atlantic Ocean. Kasi nakita ng mga scientists na merong mga underground or underwater volcanoes and later called mid-ocean ridges. And our last one, ito yung tinutukoy kanina doon sa question, the lateral slipping or we call it transform boundary movements. Ayan. Thank you very much, guys. Let's have our next question, 46. Medyo mahaba yung kanina, no? Why does the Philippines experience frequent earthquakes and volcanic eruptions? No, napakahirap sa bansang ito dahil lagi na lang may nare-report ng lindol at pagpuntok ng bulkan. Bakit? A. The country is surrounded by many rivers. B. It lies near the boundaries of several tectonic plates. C. It is located close to the equator. Letter D. It is made of thousands of islands. The correct answer is letter... Wait a minute. Dapat letter ano to? Letter B dapat to. Okay? I'm so sorry for the typo. Letter B. It should be letter B. It lies near the boundaries of several tectonic plates. Actually, ang Pilipinas ay nasa Pacific Ring of Fire. And also, we are along the plate boundary movements or mga edges ng plate boundaries. Kaya kapag konting galaw lang, naapektuhan ang bawat isa. I'm so sorry dun sa ating typo, no? Hindi ko napansin ito. We have another typo here. Number 47. What kind of plate boundary forms where two plates slide past each other horizontally? A. Continental collision boundary. B. Divergent boundary. C. Transform boundary. Or D. Convergent oceanic boundary. The correct answer is letter C. Transform boundary. Kasi kanina, di ba? Slide past each other. Same lang ito dun sa kanina. Let's have question 48. Which geological features suggest that the Philippines is located near a convergent plate boundary? Ano yung a convergent boundary? Di ba yung may dalawang plates na nagbabanggaan? Letter A, coastal dunes, yung mga buhangin sa dagat, sa dalampasigan. Letter B, coral reef systems. C, agricultural terraces on hillsides. Or D, deep ocean trenches and chains of volcanoes. Okay, the correct answer is letter D, deep ocean trenches and chains of volcanoes. Deep sea trenches and volcanic mountain chains form when one plate is pushed down beneath another at convergent boundaries. Let's have our next question, 49. How do seismic waves help scientists understand what lies deep inside the Earth? A. They measure the exact temperature of Earth's core. B. They change speed and direction depending on the materials they pass through. C. They predict exactly where the next earthquake will happen. Or letter D. They calculate the age of rock layers. The correct answer is letter B. They change speed and direction depending on the materials they pass through. Seismic waves travel at different speeds and bend differently depending on the material. By studying these changes, scientists map the structure and composition of Earth's interior layers. Wala naman sigurong nagtangka na pumasok sa pinakailalim ng mundo. Mahirap yon. Pero they have used some technologies to detect sound waves, di ba? Nag-iiba yung speed ng sound sa iba't ibang parts ng mundo. That's why they concluded that this rock beneath, no, sa ating inaapakan, meron mga layers. Okay? Let's have our last question, 50. A geologist finds identical index fossils in rock layers from two different places. Identical index fossils sa magkaibang lugar. What conclusion is most reasonable? A. The rock layers are exactly the same thickness. B. Both layers contain exactly the same materials or minerals. C. The rock layers were formed during roughly at the same period. And letter D. Both layers came from the same volcano. The correct answer is letter C. The rock layers were formed during roughly the same time period. Ayan. Index fossils come from organisms that live during a short, well-defined time span. Finding the same fossils in different places means the rock layers are approximately the same age. Di ba natatabunan yung lupa? So, magkapareho lang sila ng timeline. Ganon. Thank you very much, and I hope you learned something from our video and sa ating review for the upcoming Term 1 examination. Salamat sa inyo lahat, grade 9 learners, sa mga viewers natin, mga teachers, and netizens, maraming salamat po. Pagpasensya nyo na yung ano ko yung typo ko doon sa mga items kanina. And once again, this is Sir John Batoriano. See you next time into the world of science.